What it do, snap, crackle, and pop? It's me, Keisha, aka Color Me Pynk, and I'm here with this week's All Tea, All Shade, Love and Marriage Huntsville Season 4, Episode 17. If you're new to this channel, I drop videos Monday through Sunday. Everything that I say is for entertainment purposes only and not to be taken seriously. So if that works for you, let's get into tonight's review. So the episode kicks off exactly where we left off last week, with everybody having dinner and talking to Dr. Francis and his wife. And Tiffany in her confessional says, I don't respect his opinion. They felt like, Dr. Francis didn't know what he was talking about. They came across like they knew everything, like they're all together. This man is a quack. He's judging us. And he was literally telling them about themselves, and they knew that shit to be true, and that's why they were so fucking defensive from my point of view. So Marcel, the next day in the kitchen cooking breakfast, which I was surprised that the nigga even knew how to cook breakfast, goddammit. So him and Louis and Tiffany are in the kitchen with each other, and Tiffany was like, I didn't know we were gonna be came at, I didn't know that we was gonna basically be the topic of discussion. Y'all the topic of discussion because y'all attitude sucks. And if everybody's telling you that, why can't you take that and adjust and be like, oh damn, if everybody here is saying that our attitudes are off, then maybe there's some truth in that. So Letitia then comes into the kitchen. Hell, she even shocked Marcel cooked. I don't even think she knew that nigga knew how to cook. And Louis brings up the reunion and how, the topic of Letitia and Marcel's marriage came up and how they were going back and forth, and he apologizes. And I think the only reason why he's apologizing is because now he sees that they're in the hot seat, and that everything that they were saying about Marcel and Tisha is now being thrown back on them. So they all sit down for breakfast, and Marcel was like, how does it feel to have a professional say y'all fake? Because I already said y'all was fake. I'm like, something is wrong when an episode comes on and y'all making me like Marcel. Like, y'all gotta be a problem if I'm actually enjoying Marcel this episode. So Kimmy joins them for breakfast as well, and Tiffany was like, when we gonna get started, because it's been an hour and Dr. Francis not here yet. He an hour late, and God knows we don't want nobody to be late. So you still mad because he called your ass out about literally leaving in the midst of y'all just getting there and starting to do the work, and throwing little subliminals and taking shots at this man. And who's to say that y'all ain't already doing an exercise by him having y'all sitting there? Maybe he's somewhere watching y'all conversations, watching how y'all acting, and seeing how y'all behave when he's not around. You don't know what that man thing is. So Marcel was like, oh, y'all, you really mad about that or whatever. So Kimmy then calls them out. Like, y'all can say whatever y'all want to say to everybody else, but then when somebody gives you guys constructive criticisms on y'all marriage, y'all don't want to accept it. Like, it's like y'all above reproach. Can't nobody say nothing to y'all. And Louis was like, well, for somebody to diagnose me in 6 seconds and tell me my marriage is a game. And Kimmy was like, y'all did it to Marcel. Like, the fuck? Ain't that the pot calling the kettle black? And he just sat there looking stupid in the face. So Kimmy was like, Tiffany, me and you had a conversation about you wanting to have another baby, and you were saying that Louis wasn't on board, and now it's something totally different once we're here. And like, that's an issue because y'all do have issues in y'all marriage, but y'all got here and acting like everything is hunky-dory, everything is peachy king, ain't nothing going on in y'all marriage. And Tiffany was like, well, frankly, I didn't think Dr. Francis gave a fuck. And it was just like, why are you being so defensive? Once again, I feel like the defensiveness is coming and stemming from the fact that there is truth in what this man is saying, and they don't want to face the reality that they got some deep-rooted fucked up shit going on over there between them. So Kimmy was like, the energy with y'all is just off. Like, and we all see it. Like, everybody here is telling you that y'all energy is coming off. Like, don't say shit to me. We got it together. I don't care. I don't want to listen to nothing you got to say. And they still would not accept that this is a truth. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was just the most mind-boggling shit I've ever seen. Two grown adults that just cannot accept to hear, criticism of themselves. Like, they did not want to take accountability for nothing. And even in their confessional after the fact, they still sitting up there talking about something they felt attacked. Like, okay, girl, get y'all Karen asses on. Like, y'all literally sitting up there acting like two big ass Karens. Mel decides to meet with Martell's mama, Marlene, child. And who Jesus, this scene worked to my nerves. It truly worked to my everlasting nerves. Marlene comes showing up with some box braids, child, and the matchstick legs of hers out, and walk into the little private dining room. Tom said, "Hey, baby." Oh, now it's "Hey, baby" when you've been talking about her like a dog, child. Woo, the fakery and the fakeness of mamas. Whoo, child, boys. Some of these niggas' mamas be so motherfucking fake, bruh. So fake. So they sit down. And, Mel is like, very respectful to this woman. I wouldn't have been, but she's very respectful to her. She's like, I just want to move forward. I know we haven't talked in a long time, but, I want things to get back to the way we used to be. We used to be really close, used to talk all the time. And Marlene was like, yeah, and to the text message, she was like, yeah, where I blocked you. So Melody was like, did you feel like I said anything about you that was like rude or disrespectful? And the mother was like, no. And Mel was like, okay, right. Like, cause damn well, I ain't never disrespected you privately nor publicly or involved you in me and your son's shit. Like, absolutely not. So basically what you did last season was some bullshit. And I'm glad that she, in a respectful way, called that heifer out. So they then show some bits from the text message conversation where Melody said to Marlene, your son is a liar. You have upheld Martell for a very long time and not made him take responsibility, period. I said the period. Since day one, been nothing but good to you and fair when it came to you. Y'all enjoy and do what y'all do. Don't text back because I'm blocking you. Baby, you ain't got to worry about me. Me and her would have never talked. Ever, 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 ever. Anywho, so after that, Mel brings up, the conversation from from the first half of this season where Marlene and Martell was sitting outside on the porch. No, sitting inside the house, and they were talking about Melody, and Marlene was talking about Melody was lazy and used to work Martell to death, and she thought she was going to kill her son and all this old stupid ass shit. And she was like, now did your son tell you that? Did your son come to you and say, oh, mom, I got this wife that's working me to death. She gonna kill me? And she was like, no, I said it. I said you was a little lazy. You was. And Mel, after that, was trying to prove to this woman that, I ain't never been lazy. First of all, man, you ain't got to prove shit to this drunk. She don't even know where she at half the time. Girl, look at what she has raised. Girl, you ain't got to prove nothing to nobody named Marlene. Nobody with some twig-shaped legs. You ain't got to, girl, that woman know damn well everything coming out her drunk ass mouth is some bullshit. Some bullshit. She one of them ignorant ass mamas that's gonna ride for her son no matter what. She faked to y'all relationship all that time. She never really gave a fuck about you, and that was shown in this scene. She was being nice nasty to you, knowing damn well you ain't never did nothing to her. Fuck her and her son at this point. That's your kid's grandmama. Y'all deal with y'all grandmama. You ain't never got to talk to that lady again in life. Wish her well, pray for her. But other than that, that lady don't fuck with you. She don't fuck with you like that, and let it be. Let her wino ass be. So Mel was, steady trying to, prove that, I'm not lazy, this, that, and the third. And the lady was like, yeah, you was a little lazy. You was. But I guess if I was having children, I would be lazy too. And Mel, you could tell, like, was like, is this bitch serious? Like, all she could do was laugh at this point, because it's just like, this lady is really coming for me. Like, she really is trying it. And she know I can't be disrespectful towards her. So she really is pushing it. Girl, I would have been like, you and them fucked up braids can kiss my ass, girl. Anywho, look like some shit Ariane did. I bet you Ariane did them braids. That's why they look like that. So Mel was like, you know what? Actually, I talked to your son, and he remembered how you used to say that we both used to do too much and we worked too much and this, that, and the third. And she was like, yeah. Y'all did. But, I still say you used to lay around and tell Martell to do this, do that. And you used to have Martell doing everything. But it's a new day. It's done. It's over with. Bitch, no, it ain't done and over with just because you older than me. I'm grown just like you grown. You ain't my damn mama at the end of the day. No, it ain't. No, it's done. I said what I said type shit. Woo! Jesus. So, Mel was like, well, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to unblock you. And she was like, no, keep me blocked. That's how you know she ain't never liked Mel. When she was like, keep me blocked. You can go ahead and do that. Just come around the house. And Mel was like, I'm not showing up at nobody's house unannounced. And she was like, Mel was like, I would love for us to, be able to go out and go eat like we used to. She was like, and I would do that, don't you? I would do that. Because, you a nice girl. And I do care about you. You my grandkids mama. Not you a nice girl. Like, you ain't been knowing me for over 10 years and all of this shit. Now I'm a nice girl. Girl, Mel, fuck that girl. Ooh, Jesus. Fuck that lady. Fuck her. Fuck her and her big-eared ass son. Fuck that bitch. Ooh. Dr. Francis has everyone come outside around the fire. And he wants them to participate in like this honesty exercise where if they sit in the main chairs, they have to be honest. No matter the consequence, it doesn't matter. They just have to be 100%. So he calls up the Whitlows, and the topic of loss comes up. And he asks, hey, how did he handle whatever loss that he's experienced in his life? And he was like, it's never easy to take a loss. And he was like, no, that's not what I asked. He was like, I asked you how you handled it. And Louis was like, it hurt. It really hurt. I isolated myself. But when you have people around you that love and support you, it makes it easier to deal with. And he becomes emotional, and he actually starts to cry. And Dr. Francis was like, your humanity is coming through. Like, the philosopher is finally out the door and your humanity is actually shining through. And Louis was like, but that's what motivates me, because that's a part of who I am. That's why when people say it's a game with me and that I'm playing a game, I take that personal. And I'm like, well, if you take that personally, then how about you stop trying to lead with this steel shell of yourself, like this armor, like nothing phases you, nothing hurts you, you have it all together. Maybe if you were a little bit more vulnerable, then people wouldn't feel like you were playing a game. So Tisha then, talks about the loss that she just recently had with, a friend of hers passing away. And they actually show footage from when Maurice was about to marry Kimmy, and at his bachelor party, the girl's husband, Hussein, or I think that's how you say it, Hassan, was there, and he was just praising his wife and saying how much he loved her. And it was really sad to see that they had only been married for like 5 years. They had a 3-year old, and they had just had a 2-month old when she just collapsed in her baby's room and passed right the day after her birthday. Like, I pray for that man and their family, like, because that's just horrible, horrible, horrible. So I am praying for them because, whew, Lord forbid. Ooh, Lord. Marlene and her drunk braids are at Martell's house with the kids while he's down in his office pretending to work, child. So she sits down with him and tells him that she met up with Melody. He was like, when? For real? When? Like this man didn't know that they was meeting up. But okay, girl, we'll play along. She was like, this morning, we actually met up for breakfast. And he was like, well, how'd that go? She was like, it went well. It was really good. We talked about everything and about the text message and everything. And, I understood because she a mom and she was hurt. And Martell tells her, I'm glad you can get over that text message because, that was ultimately disrespectful. I know you lying. That girl ain't bit more been disrespectful to that lady. I just want to fight both of them at one time with one arm tied behind my back because they irk my soul. Oh, Jesus. So Martell was like, well, look at me being positive. I just want to throw pepper in his eye. When I tell you I can't stand that nigga nor his mama, oh my God, they irk my soul. So then we go back to the couples retreat and Louis and Tiffany are in their bedroom talking, and he, cries, becomes upset, and talks about the disconnect that he had growing up with his father because his dad wasn't present. Like, he chose working to make sure that their family was taken care of over being present in his life, and how he didn't show up for him at his games and stuff like that. And you could tell that, it really hurts him and bothers him, and that that's something that he's tried to suppress all of these years. And it's showing up in his marriage because Tiffany is always busy and she doesn't have time for him, much like his father. Dr. Francis then meets up with Tisha and Marceau for a one-on-one. And they sit down and they talk, and Marceau lets him know that, they've been sure about their marriage up until like the last 3 or 4 years, basically until they started this show. They were confident and happy in their marriage. And I think that he was very much pleased with how their marriage was going, but Tisha wasn't. But she's not going to say that. She wasn't happy with where their marriage was 3 or 4 years ago when they first started this show, because 3 or 4 years ago she was a stay-at-home mom, isolated, couldn't do shit. He wasn't helping out with the kids. She didn't have no voice, and that worked for them because he had control over everything. So Marceau says, we didn't have any friction up until now. It's constant feedback from people critiquing our marriage. Well, that's going to happen when you're on a reality show and people are going to call out the things that your wife is too afraid to admit or complain about to you or have grievances about. So Tisha was like, for me, it's like God gave you this husband for a reason, and it's okay to listen to him. And I don't know if it's submissive or obedience. You just have to trust that God bless you with this man whom has not disappointed you, and you just got to trust the process. Child, Dr. Francis was looking at Hooked on Phonics like, what, girl? Girl, oh Lord. God also said don't be no fool. God also said don't let no man run over you and treat you bad and talk to you crazy. No, and gaslight you. God never said to be no goddamn idiot. So Marceau was like, I just don't make decisions unilaterally in our marriage. I go over things with her. And Dr. Francis was like, really? He was like, look, let me say this. One of the biggest mistakes people make is to argue the truth when the truth speaks for itself. And I was like, you better speak a word. You better let them know. You better let them know, because y'all arguing and trying to make it seem like this is working for y'all when the truth is already speaking for itself, that this shit that y'all doing obviously ain't working. At the end of the episode, we then see Dr. Francis go and talk to Kimmy and Maurice. And they start to talk. And Maurice says, that I was apprehensive about coming. And I told Kimmy we should have sex 2 times a day as a reward for coming. I don't think one spouse should be able to say, no, I'm not willing to. I feel like we should be having sex at least once a day. Child, if you got enough time to be fucking every goddamn day, your priorities are not intact, child. First of all, Kimmy is older than you. Kimmy is in her 40s, like I'm in my 40s, goddamn it. 40-year-old women ain't got time to be busting it wide open every motherfucking day. We tired, goddamn it. We want to go to sleep. Our back and shit be hurting, knees be cracking. Ain't nobody got time for all that bullshit. We be tired after a long day of dealing with niggas and Karens all goddamn day. Don't nobody be feeling like coming home and fucking and sucking all goddamn day, child. Don't you got some credit to repair? I think not. Okay? Boy, you better get somewhere and sit your ass down somewhere. So, Dr. Francis was like, have you ever considered a woman should have a right over her body? And he was like, Kimmy, don't you agree? She was like, yeah, he knows that I have the right over my body. Well, do we? Do we? Because I don't think he do. So Maurice was like, how much sex is obsessive? And Kimmy says, when the sex is over and he's laying in the bed, I still have things to be done, around the house. I got to do this, I got to do that or whatever. And Dr. Francis was like, a type A personality such as yourself will say, well, we need to get some of these things done before we do have sex. And she was like, you're preaching to the choir. I say those things, but he feels like, chores and stuff is not a man thing. Let me tell you something. Maurice and his brother Marcel and these old barbaric ass notions about marriage and manhood can kiss my natural caramel ass. Like, nigga, what? You think I'm gonna be around here fucking and sucking you, taking care of your child, running a household, going to work, dealing with myself, dealing with you, dealing with all of these personalities, and you not gonna help me around the house? Bitch, please. I wish I motherfucking would. I wish I fucking would. Nigga, you gonna help around this house just like I gotta help around this house. Your son gonna help around this house. Everybody gonna have things to do. I'm not your motherfucking maid, bitch. The fuck. Ooh, I don't know how Kimmy and Tisha married these niggas and these antiquated ass fucking rules that they have grown up with. Is this how they mother and father were with one another? Is this the type of household they were raised in? Because ain't no motherfucking way you gonna say that that's not a thing that a man should do. Bitch, you want to eat, don't you? Just as well as I stood over this stove and cooked on my feet that are tired, back and everything else, head hurting, probably on my menstrual cycle, and I'm up here slaving away after doing 8-9 hours at work and come home to feed you and your big head ass son, monster, and you can't even wash some dishes. Bitch, I wish ain't nobody in this motherfucker eating. How about that? How about motherfucking that? Girl, ooh, Jesus, Lord, these niggas on this show, Overall, I am going to give tonight's episode an A. I enjoyed it a lot, even though they worked my everlasting nerves dealing with these niggas on this show. Lord. Let me know what y'all thought about tonight's episode down below in the comment section. You guys, make sure to thumbs up this video, like and subscribe. I love you. Bye.